Hi, my name is Eve Shapiro, and I'm the Senior Director of Programs and Evaluation at Westside United. Westside United is a health collaborative that aims to eliminate the life expectancy gap between Westside neighborhoods and Chicago's downtown. We believe that there are many issues that impact life expectancy, from individual behaviors like eating your fruits and vegetables to economic access, like opportunities to earn a living wage. We have a framework that includes about 50 of those metrics, and we want to share that information with you. Westside United tracks progress towards our goal of eliminating that life expectancy gap. We chose metrics on the dashboard from our larger metrics framework that I referenced, and these just represent a sample of measures that affect health across diverse issue areas. This data helps us understand priorities for approaching health equity. These priorities shape our programs and initiatives. We use the data on this dashboard all the time to understand where we need to work. We hope that you will use this dashboard to learn more about health and well-being on the West Side. So let's dive in. This is the dashboard. Just go to wsudashboard.org to access it. On the homepage, you can immediately start searching. You can type in a neighborhood here. You can search for topics here. Say we want to look at unemployment. And we can dive right in to look at a map or view a chart. That's one way to explore the data. Another is to use this bar on the left-hand side. So to start off, if you would like written instructions or more details about all the features of the site, click How to Use. There's more information about all the features on the website right here. There's two main ways to access the data in the dashboard. You can look at places or topics. Places include Westside United neighborhood. It's an average of our 10 neighborhoods. Each individual neighborhood or specific zip codes on the West Side. Topics include all of the indicators that we've included in this dashboard, and they're organized by our impact areas. So we have drivers of life expectancy, demographics, education, economic vitality, neighborhood and physical environment, and health and healthcare. And each of these categories has a few indicators in it that you can learn more about. Let's start with places. So if you click on Westside United, it will bring you to a map of the West Side. And these are the 10 neighborhoods that we work in. You can click on data to get a full list of all the indicators in the Health Atlas. I think what's really valuable is being able to compare. So let's add another place that we want to compare. Let's look at North Lawndale, where our offices are. So here is where you can add different neighborhoods or zip codes to compare. You can add any of the 10 West Side neighborhoods. You can add Westside United, which, as I mentioned, is an average of the data for all 10 neighborhoods. Or you could even add the Loop, which is a special neighborhood that we often compare data to. So let's throw that in as well. So here we can see all the different indicators between those three geographies. We can see, for instance, that across 10 West Side neighborhoods, 52% of adults think that there's easy access to fruit and vegetables, compared to only 38% in North Lawndale and almost 65% in the Loop. So you can start to see, even from this list of data, where there are disparities that emerge. You can kind of move things around. If you want to reorder the geographies, you can also reorder these indicators. You can also look at specific topics. So let's say we want to look at easy access to fruit and vegetables. Let's say you want to share this data with somebody else, but you don't want all of the indicators in here. You can go to this topics section, looks like 3 books, and you can remove topics, either individually or all together, and that will shorten this table to just those that you're interested in. Let's look at a specific neighborhood. So here we're in North Lawndale. At the top, you'll have a little description about the neighborhood. It includes the number of residents. If you click on the summary section, it'll immediately direct you to demographic information. It pops up with race and ethnicity, but you can explore different types of demographics. By clicking here, you can change the stratification or time period, or using the same icon on the right-hand side. So let's say we're interested in the age breakdown. So now we can see what the demographics by age look like in North Lawndale compared to Westside United as a whole. You can do this for a lot of different factors and also change the time period. You can also add or subtract other neighborhoods. Like let's say we want to compare Austin, and we don't want to look at Westside United average anymore. So now I can compare these two neighborhoods by adding or deleting them in this section. All right, let's take a look at the map of North Lawndale. So the map shows us two things, both the neighborhood boundaries, which are the outline, and then also where there's overlap with zip codes. So if you hover in a particular area, up in the left-hand corner up here, this legend will change to let you know that now you're in 60623. If you go up here, 60624 in the northern end, and 60608 in the east. Some of the data is organized by zip code and most of it by neighborhood, and so you can toggle in between the two using the map feature. By clicking on data, that will bring you to that long list again of all the indicators, unless you add or subtract them here. And then chart starts with demographics unless we look at a specific topic. So let's start to look at a topic. We go to the book icon to change topics. Let's look at housing. So this chart shows us housing cost burden between North Lawndale and Austin. We can go back to places here to look at Westside United as a whole and just see what housing cost burden looks like across those three. If you're interested in getting more information about the measure itself, you can click this little eye icon and a pop-up will appear that includes more detail about the measure. So for instance, housing cost burden means that they're looking at households that spend more than 30% of their income on housing. It tells you the entire time period that the data is available for, and that you can see it at both zip code and neighborhood level. There's also more details about the source. This is from the American Community Survey. Let's say we want to look at this data over time. So we can change it to a line chart. And this information shows us both Westside United's data, Austin's data in blue, and North Lawndale's data since 2011. One really cool thing about the dashboard is that you can download images and the data. So down here in the corner, there's a download button. So you can download an image file, a PDF, you can print the chart, you can also just get the underlying data itself as the CSV. You can change the stratification by the year, and again, the places. Now let's take a look at the topics. We'll come in from a different approach. So let's look at housing cost burden. So if we click the topic, it's immediately going to bring us to a map of the entire West Side. And it's shaded that map differently depending on what the housing cost burden is for that specific neighborhood. So areas that are darker blue have a higher housing cost burden. So for instance, here in North Lawndale, it's almost 57%, versus the lighter colors have a lower cost burden. So here in the lower West Side, it's 33%. You can click on a specific neighborhood, and then it allows you to either open a chart of that data or open a map in a separate page. So let's say we want to look at the chart for Humboldt Park. So this now shows us the housing cost burden for Humboldt Park and for Westside United. Westside United will always come up as a comparison unless you change it in the places section. If you click on rank, you'll get a ranking of the 10 Westside neighborhoods for each individual measure. So for instance, this one tells us that the neighborhood with the highest housing cost burden at almost 60% is West Garfield Park. The neighborhood with the lowest housing cost burden at 27% is Westtown down here. So you can get a ranking immediately for each indicator. And the sources section gives you more information about the underlying data source. You can do this for every single indicator on the page. The last area I'll show is the download section. It's really easy to download the underlying data from each of these indicators. You can start by choosing a neighborhood or zip code in how you want to receive the data. You can even just look at a specific neighborhood. Let's say we just wanted the data for Austin. You could click that here. In this section, you include the different data points that you want. So let's say we want to add life expectancy, population, and that housing cost burden. There's different options about errors and standard deviations to include, or whether you want to download the data in a CSV format. Finally, you can download an Excel file. It's really great and includes all of the neighborhoods and the data for the indicators that you select. It's super easy to use this site and also to access the data, which I love. That's all I have to share for now, but I really hope that you use this dashboard to explore more about your neighborhood or neighborhoods that you're interested in the West Side. If you have any questions about the dashboard, please reach out to me at eshapiro@westsideunited.org to learn more about how you can use the dashboard or any questions about the data.